Ooh. Welcome back to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
Um, Ecstatic to be here. How are you?
I am a little chilly.
Yeah,
The
it's
uh,
fair.
the the Rum Dum Studio.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So we've got the Mount Rushmore Neighbors going on. I apologize. I did not watch Kevin Hart's new one, so we're gonna have to save that for next week to go over that. So if you want to hear the comedy special, what we have to think about the latest Kevin Hart and what we rate it laughs wise, it won't be till next week. Um, Adam, this is one of my favorite weeks of the year.
hmm
Last week, so I keep an eye on Parker's text messages. He's 12 years old. I keep an eye on that little phone that he's got.
Good.
Make sure nothing crazy's going on. I'm actually in the baseball chat. Okay. I've got in it when we were in Branson, so I could tell them all, hey, time to get back to the crib here, the barracks thing that we had. So I did that. But I just I'm radio silent all the time. I'll say anything, but I read all of them. So I always know what's
hmm
going on. One kid says it's hate week last week. This is last week. He said it's hate week. Hate week starts today and OH and all this stuff, because of the Ohio State Michigan.
Yeah.
And I wanted to tell Parker on Tuesday. They both because the Bearcats and Muskies both played on Monday. So I wanted to tell him on Tuesday, hey, you got to tell him it's hate week starts right now. This is when hate week starts. Everybody in Ohio likes Ohio State, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you got everybody in this chat likes either Xavier or UC.
hmm
Not everybody in that chat likes either Ohio State or Michigan.
Yeah.
Some people don't like Ohio State, but that doesn't mean they like Michigan.
Right.
Anyway, I'm excited. This is what I'm all about. This is my week. This is my week. And I can say it now because Andre probably isn't listening, but I made a bet with Andre. I haven't gone back to listen, but I think I talked him into giving me points.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know if it was 6, 7,
Uh,
6, 7, 9, 5, 4, whatever. But I right now am feeling way better than I was 2 weeks ago. They lost a terrible home game. We're only up by like five to Tarleton. Tarleton, is that right?
Tarleton. Yeah.
Brian Gillespie's coaching at this place. Is it Brian Gillespie? Billy Gillespie.
Billy Gillespie.
Billy
Yeah.
Gillespie coaches that team. Oh, how big of a fall is Kentucky to Tarleton State?
You're getting 5.5, by the
I'm
way,
getting 5.5. Let's go.
at the Centos, right?
I might just drop off Ooh, would that be something to drop the Posey off jersey tomorrow? If I just get it and text him and say, hey man, I got a care package I want to mail to you. What's your address? And then just drop it off on a
Oh.
put it on a hanger, hang it on his front door. I might do that. I might do that tomorrow. I might do that. I might do that. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm doing that tomorrow.
There you go.
And if I lose, I lose. But it's still a funny
That
prop.
that is funny.
It's still a funny prop.
Yeah.
All right, so I got something to do tomorrow. But anyway, it's a big week. Xavier lost by 20 to Santa Clara at home. Thought things were going downhill. They go to Charleston. They lose a close game by one to Georgia. They beat up on West Virginia pretty good, who at that time was hoping to get into the top 25 before they got into that tournament, and then came back home and I can't remember who they played. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, I think is what it was. Handily beat them and beat St. Francis the other night pretty handily. So I'm feeling much better on my side than I was a week ago, two
Yeah.
weeks ago, and I'm sure Andre's feeling much worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They've been going in opposite directions,
yes,
really.
they have.
Yeah.
Yes, they have. So what do you think, Bud? What you got any pointers? You got anything you want? I'll tell you to look up this guy Milicevic. I think this is how you say his name. He's going to be the number one option for Xavier. My favorite name in Xavier history now, All Right. That's actually his name, All
Mm.
Right. Is really playing really well. Rodney Anderson's playing good. I keep wanting to call this dude Clay Carroll, uh, the old pitcher for Reds.
Yeah.
Carroll, the long haired big lefty that we got, looks like Jason Momoa a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I'm feeling pretty good about the team we're running out there right now. Shooting from three, that's all we do now. We're just a 3-point shooting team, live and die by it. So far, we've been living lately since we found out that's what we can do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So I was watching Paul Fritchner was on somebody's show on Chatterbox Sports and they were talking about this game and he was saying how so Xavier has turned into a 3-point shooting team big time.
100%.
And he said almost by necessity because the bigs haven't been or maybe just their defense on the interior
He,
hasn't been
this is the
great.
we've been outscored in the paint by 20 plus points multiple times.
Yeah.
In a lot of games that we win, we're outscored in the paint by a ton. We gave up, what was it, 52 points in the paint to Old Dominion, and we still beat them
Jeez.
by 20. 52 points in the paint.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's not the only time we've done that. Like we've given up 40 points in the paint multiple times.
If you take away the 3-point shot,
You're in trouble,
okay.
bub. You're in trouble.
Yeah, I
You're in a
mean,
lot of trouble.
yeah. As long as you're hitting though, like you said, live and die by the three. So
Hmm.
there are going to be, at some point you're going to have a bad shooting night, and then it's going to be,
Sure,
then that stuff's going to matter
100%.
a lot more. But yeah, so from what I understand, they've become a good 3-point shooting team, and their assist to turnover ratio is way up there. Like they're not turning the ball over a ton, and they're way up on the list of assists among teams, and so I mean that's a big thing to me. Maybe they're coming off of threes mostly, but um, especially the part where you're not turning it over as much. If you win the turnover battle and you don't get out rebounded by a bunch,
Yeah.
then you're going to be in good shape in probably just about every game.
And I've heard that UC has turned the ball over 20 plus times, 3 times already this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very, very capable of winning that turnover battle, hopefully. Um, but yeah, yeah, I'm excited, much more excited than I was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're gonna go in. Friday's gonna be a long day, buddy. Long day, long day, long day.
What time's that game start? Is that a late?
7:30.
Oh, okay. Okay.
7:30 tip. Um, Gates open at 5 o'clock p.m.
Whoa.
Yeah. Gates open an hour and a half before the game.
Wow.
Hmm. Very
That's
excited.
they open at 5:30?
An hour and a half before the game, 5 o'clock.
That's
Wait,
2.5 hours, right?
6 o'clock.
7:30?
7:30, 6 o'clock?
They open at
Oh,
6.
I gotta adjust
That's
my
probably.
email I sent out to everybody. Yeah. Yeah, that's way off. This dude said he wanted everybody there at 5 o'clock, all the workers there at 5 o'clock.
Oh,
That's insane. They're gonna be there forever. No, I gotta email these people that I just emailed.
well,
I'm in charge of the beer booth, so I talk about it
yeah.
all the time. And I send him because the guy sent me an email saying we need everybody ready to work at 5 o'clock. Be there by 5. I thought that's when the gates opened. And
Yeah.
now I gotta readjust it and be like, man, I told you I'd be there between 4 and 4:45. You do not have to be there then. Be there between 5 and 5:30.
Gotcha.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, all right.
That was
So,
really bad. Now I really gotta update that. I gotta update that email.
I mean, is this going to be do you expect this to be a higher scoring game, or do you think they're just going to be so locked in, both teams on defense, it's going to be a slow start? I mean, what do you, an over under? What would you put an over under at?
Um,
Or maybe you've already looked at it. I don't know.
I have not. I would say it'll be somewhere in the like 60, 66, 60, 67, 63. I would say is probably what they're thinking. So what is that, 130 points?
Okay. Pretty standard, I guess, for a college game.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Yeah, and so the one thing we talked about, both, each team's kind of heading in a different direction here, but um, you always have in those big time rivalry games, the some of that stuff goes out the window, right? It's just going to be like, especially and a lot of most of the guys on both teams have not experienced this before, and it's a lot. Most of them are not from here, so they're not going to feel it until they get out on the floor and see all the people. It's about the fans are what make it stay a rivalry, even in this
Yes.
era of college basketball where you're going to have a different team every year. Um, so I think because of that, it's going to stay. It's going to stay that atmosphere is going to be crazy, as always. And once they get out there, I think they're going to feel it, and
I
some
think
of that
that's the
stuff goes
thing.
out the
Yeah,
window.
because I had just had this conversation with my dad. Um, the coolest thing about this game is it doesn't matter if these kids have played 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. And I know they don't have the Devereaux League anymore, and because they would all play against each other or with each other and that, and they don't stick around as long, so they don't get to know each other and play against each other. When you get into an arena and it's rocking from tip to buzzer, that puts an energy inside you that you can't help but turn up
Yeah.
right there. You can't help it.
Yep. Yep. Every stop, every bucket, every little thing is going to get a cheer that they've not heard yet
No,
before.
a
Yeah.
100% they have not heard. This team has not heard what they're about to hear on Friday. I hope Patino has them ready for that
Mhm.
because I have been at games where that first 10 minutes ends up being like a 13 to 10 game 10 minutes into it because every shot's long and there's a bunch of turnovers on passes over heads over people's heads and just a lot of extra a lot of
Mhm.
extra because that adrenaline is
Nervous energy or something. Yeah.
pumping
Yeah.
pumping.
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking at I mean you have 5.5 points. Do you expect Xavier to win by I mean I guess you do expect them
I
well
expect David to
what you
win.
get
Yeah, I get 5.5. They can
you get
lose by
5.5.
5 and I still beat Andre, but
But what do you I mean what do you predict, I guess, if you
Uh,
had to?
let's go. Still going to be a close game. This is going to be, no matter what happens, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I like the 77-63 or 67-63 number.
Okay.
That's my number. I think 67-63 is my number.
All right, Xavier, of course.
X. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. X by 4.
Okay. All right. I like that. I would guess about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. All right. Well, these I mean these two teams are neighbors, right?
Yes, they are.
Um, but before we
Less
before
than
we
three
start
miles
on that,
apart.
it's the 3 miles apart. Before we start on that, let's go real quick over our NFL picks. So last week, and you're running away with this thing. Um, NFL Week 13. I finally had a good week again. I went 3-0. Okay, I
Good
went 3
job,
and 0.
bro.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Happy for you.
And and you maintained. You went 2-1.
2-1. I'll
So
take
you
that.
still haven't.
In 5 weeks, I think I've lost 3 games.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I love it. I love it.
So and that's out of 15 games
Yeah,
because that's
I know. I
that's
take
really
it.
impressive.
And
Okay.
my strategy of having no strategy is way better than any strategy I've ever had before. Pick the
Yeah.
phone up, look at the scores, or look at the I don't have a Back to the Future almanac.
Yeah, yeah.
Pick up the phone, look at the games for the very first time on Wednesday night, and just say what I think's going to happen right off the bat. I love it. This is my new thing.
Well, so then
I'm not
let's
betting it for real though. I'm not going to bet because I have not bet any of these. I have not actually bet any of these. And
you
the
can't
second
stump,
I actually start betting them, I'm going to lose.
of course. Okay. So let's go to week 14. It's NFL week 14 already.
NFL Week
We
14.
only have 5 more weeks of NFL games. All right. All right. I've got
Can the Bengals make the comeback?
they could. I mean, they beat Baltimore on the road this past week, and It's I
Going to a Buffalo team that hasn't looked spectacular.
Yeah, yep. If they win this game against Buffalo, people are going to start getting
Oh
real
yeah.
excited.
Yes. I say Buffalo, and you beat Buffalo and Baltimore. That's the excitement
Oh
because
yeah,
after that, it's all downhill.
if you beat Baltimore for a second time, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yeah.
At that point in time, it's everybody's like, holy. And then this week, we actually have to kind of root for Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
We need Pittsburgh to lose.
We need them to because they still play each other twice, so we kind of need
Yeah.
them to split, right?
Yeah.
We
I'd
just
say
kind of
split
have
would be
to.
good. We'll have to see exactly where their records are going into the final, however that works.
Yeah,
But right now, Pittsburgh is above Baltimore. So
yeah,
we need the highest to lose, and then we need them probably. You're probably right to split, and
yeah.
we just need to win. We have to win out. Doesn't matter. Xavier, Elder. I almost said Elder right afterwards.
This.
The Bengals have to win out in my Oak Hills hat.
Oh, the Xavier Bengals.
The Xavier Southeast Norwood Bengals.
All right. Would you like to go first this week, or you want me to go ahead?
I I am going to tell you right now. I think the greatest thing in the world would be for you to go first.
Okay. Wow, the greatest thing in the world.
Greatest.
This is going to be exciting then. Okay. Um, the Colts play in Jacksonville,
Okay,
and it's in Jacksonville, and the Colts are a 1.5 point favorite in that game. So I'm going to take Jacksonville at home.
I like it.
I'm taking them. Um, the Eagles play the Chargers at the Chargers. Philly is a 3 point favorite on the road, taking the Chargers. Couple of home dogs there. I got.
Two home dogs to start.
Rivalry game, Bears Packers.
Ooh, big old rivalry.
Packers are a 6.5 point favorite
Okay,
in Green Bay. Give me Chicago to with the points.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
Jacksonville, Chargers, Chicago Bears.
All right, so week 4, here we go. Just pulled it up for the first time. It is Wednesday night on the ESPN app. Spreads are out. I'm going to start off with the Ravens Steelers game. Baltimore is a 6-point favorite at home against the Steelers. I am going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game plus 6. I still think Baltimore wins. Let's go down to how about this game? This looks like fun. No, it doesn't. Let's go Broncos Raiders. No, we won't do that. That game sucks. How about Bears Packers? Ooh, you already said this. Packers minus 6.5. I'm not touching that. You know what though? I do like. I do want to go to where's the game? Where's the one game you were talking about? There's a Chargers game in here somewhere.
Eagles, Chargers.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, Monday Night Football. Eagles
There
Chargers.
you go.
Philly minus 3. Gimme Philly.
Okay.
Justin Herbert, broken hand, trying to come back from it. Um, Give me Philly minus 3. And last but not least, we have Texans in Kansas City on Sunday night. Texans in Kansas City. Kansas City, a 3.5 point favorite. Give me the Texans to lose by 3 and cover the spread.
There you go. All right, you got Pittsburgh, Philly, and Houston.
Ooh, that didn't feel good. Oh, that's the worst we get. That's an 0-3 week. I just 0-3'd it.
Well, you have a nice cushion. So if you have an 0-3 week, you're fine because you're 21-12 on the year, and I'm 16-17.
That's really good.
21-12 is
21 and
fantastic.
12 is amazing
It's
in
really, really
gambling.
good.
I am 21 and 12 betting games this year. That's insane.
Yeah, except you didn't bet any of them.
No, I didn't. I'm scared to.
I know. I would be too.
Hey, you want to jump? If you're riding these coattails and it's working for you, keep it going. I'm not. I'm doing this for you guys.
There you go.
I'm not betting these games for you.
And you're welcome.
And you're welcome.
All right. Um, neighbors.
Neighbors, man. When was the last time you talked to your neighbor?
Um, I don't know. Week.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we're not always outside at the same time.
Okay.
None of us are outside right now.
I don't know how to even start this. I could like neighbors from the time I was a kid. Like I had like we both grew up on fantastic streets.
Yeah.
Lots of kids,
Mhm.
good people.
Yeah.
Like we talked last week, it didn't matter what you did. You run through people's backyards.
Mhm.
You could in the middle of the night, and nobody cared because that's just what was going on. And some kid runs through my backyard now. I'm liable to walk out there and start get off my lawn on him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So you've got Steve, right?
Mhm.
What was Steve's last?
Kleinhold.
Steve Kleinholz, right?
Yeah.
Remember hanging out with Steve, playing in your. I know that it was the background of the old school when the hoop was uh, straight out your back door,
Yeah.
and the fence, the privacy fence, the like 12-foot privacy fence that you guys had, which was hilarious.
As a kid, it seemed 12 foot. It was like 6 foot.
No, it was 6 foot tall, but I mean, it
Oh,
was only like
so
12
okay.
foot long.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Yes.
um, but yeah, we would rob home runs
Yes.
on the privacy fence. That was awesome. It was the
Yeah.
greatest thing in the world.
That was fun.
But Steve was always taller than us, so he'd do a little better than we could. Uh, I mean, we had my house. You had what was the two girls, Shelby and
Shelby and Aaron Ward.
yeah, Shelby and like Aaron was your age, I think.
Mhm.
Shelby was Joey's age.
Yep. Right around there.
Um,
Yep.
And then like growing up as kids, I had my street had God, we had Rico, we had Sean and Shane, the twins, Loneman, we had Michael Short. I had Steve and his sister that lived down the street. Oh, nobody likes Steve Thomas.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Steve.
Steve Thomas, one of my all-time favorite Xavier players of all time. Never got to see him play, but leading scorer in Xavier history for like 25 years until Byron Larkin took him over.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, Steve Thomas didn't like that kid at all. But he's not going to make the list. But dude, we had a great group of kids. There's always kids there. Shack ladders across the street, great neighbors. Bob Bulkey next door, great neighbor.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Shacklaters. I coached with.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Julie's sister,
Yeah.
Emily. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
They lived across the street because they moved in with their grandma. Their grandma's the one that lived across the street, but they moved in with her when they were having their house built. It
Oh.
was like a year. They lived there for like a year or longer, but they were
Wow.
over there all the time. Um, yeah, Miss Shackletter was awesome. And then you had they called him Bud. Like his shirt said Bud. It was always Bud. And he was the old man that had every tool, had everything, and he had two kids, Scott, and I can't remember the other one, but they were way older than us, but they'd come out. That was always cool. Well, great neighbors, man.
Yeah.
And now I'm older and got my own houses. Great neighbors.
Nice.
What how do we do this?
I mean, you got to come up with four. You got to come up with four.
Mm.
I mean, you could do this though too. If you have, a favorite story or two that doesn't involve the people that are going to make your list, you could do that as an option.
Don and Shane Loneman are not going to make it.
Okay.
All right.
Those are the two that I remember the most from the
Absolutely,
street.
because it was Sean and Shane. They're the
Yeah.
twins. They look nothing alike. They were not like Sean and Shane. Uh, Shane was tall and skinny. Sean was stout, dude. He was a brick wall. We used to play tackle football in Michael Short's backyard. We played on the street. It was tag because it was in the street. You ever play football on Duber?
Probably.
You had to if you wanted. So the sidewalks were were inbounds.
Okay.
Sorry, no, sidewalks were out of bounds.
Okay.
But the grass between the sidewalk and the street is inbounds. But there's cars parked on the right. You could only use the grass on the right if you called using car before the snap. You had to call using car, and then you could use a car as a screen. So you just start on the inside, take a step up, use the car as a screen, run straight down the grass, man. Nobody catch you. You were gone. Gone.
That's not fair.
Yeah, using car. But we were playing tackle football one day, and cousin Tony like lived at my house during the summer,
Mhm.
and we were little, dude. Like they were all so much older. They were in middle school. We were in like third, fourth, fifth grade or something. Like they were way older than us, way older than us. Um, but they had to play with us because I had the basketball hoop, and they all after school they were all in my backyard. I'd have 20 middle school kids in my backyard. I'm in fourth grade, looking like, can I play?
Yeah.
Um, they had to let me play too. It's I know it sucked for them, but uh, but we all hung out. So anyway, we're in Michael Shorts playing football, and dude, Sean just bullied us around, dude. He not bullied us for real, but just would just manhandle us. We're tiny. Tony, one day Sean's running at him full speed. Tony ducks his head, leads with his head. I guarantee he had some kind of concussion or something. And lifts his head up, and Sean flies over top of him, does like a flip over top of him. Tony never even looks at him, just takes off running to the house. Just assumed he was getting smoked. It took Sean a while to get up off his back, but oh man, he was pissed. He just put his head down, stuck it in his gut, and threw him over top of him. I'll never forget that.
When we were young, I was afraid to play football against Tony.
Yeah,
He was
he
rough.
was a little bit, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he's the roughest son of a gun. He played basketball for St. Dominic in high school. Holy cow! Dude wore knee pads for a reason. Like he's the only dude out there that had knee pads. He was rough and tumbling.
He's using all five fouls.
Yes, he was, buddy. Yes, he was. But let me tell you something. Back in high school, Tony get that rebound as a guy who's like
He
five
was
nine,
tough.
5'9", 5'10", whatever he is. He get that rebound, kick it back out to me and Doug Finke, let us shoot.
That's a teammate right
That's
there,
right.
buddy.
Joe Post knocking some down from the outside back in the day. But no, yeah, that was a funny time. Funny time. God, that's one story. Yeah, yeah. There have so many stories from back then, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's one I definitely remember.
very nice.
Any good ones from back in the day?
Well, I was when you were talking about that stuff, I was thinking very similar experience where um, guys on my street that were a lot older than me played on our hoop in our backyard a
Yeah,
lot.
Scott Seamer,
Scott
Johnny
Seamer,
and
Johnny,
Billy.
Billy Brigg, yep. And then they brought friends over all the time.
Hmm.
And so yeah, we had it was sometimes it was just like three or four of those guys, and then sometimes they brought their friends over, and we had 15
Didn't
dudes.
it seem like they were like 30-year-old
Yeah,
dudes banging against each other? They were probably like 17,
they were
18.
yeah, they
Yeah.
were in high school, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was, 10 years younger than them or something like that.
Yeah.
So um but yeah, it was always fun to see like sometimes it'd be like just John and Bill would come over and play against each other, and then they'd end up getting in a fight or something like that. And I'd be watching from in the house. I'd just sit there at the window and watch, or
Window from your room
yeah,
looking down.
yeah, or sit out on the porch maybe something, or stand on the porch sometimes and watch them or something like that. And so it was always fun, and and then I got to know those guys' friends and stuff,
Yeah.
and I ended up once I became an adult, played in the league that they had for a
Yeah.
long time, the
Yeah.
Cheviot League. So I got to play against a bunch of those guys, and I finally was like old enough to hang with them,
Hang, yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know I went out there and did the same thing. I wanted to play with them, and
Yep.
sometimes they would let me, and I'm sure they would just like play around when
Oh,
I was doing
absolutely.
that. But
Absolutely.
when
Yeah.
they wanted to actually play a real game, I wasn't going to be in there. I
Right.
wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't nearly big enough. So, but anyway, yeah. So it was fun. So that was a similar experience. But man, yeah, there are all kinds of. I tell you, I think I'm gonna.
Are you gonna use the Briggs?
Yeah, the Briggs are on my list.
Okay.
The Briggs are
Yeah.
on my list. Yeah, Bill and Janice were the mom and dad, and they were very, very nice to us all the time. It was John. John still talks about the first time that we met, which was on Halloween, I think. I want to say, I don't know what month it was we moved in there, but they were already living there, and I was like two or something, two or three.
Sure, yeah.
And I forget what I was dressed up as Mickey Mouse or something like that. And,
Yeah.
and mom and dad took me, a few houses on the street or whatever. And
Yeah.
we ended up going to their house. And I think they ended up standing there talking to them for a long time. And so that's how we got to know them. And they were just two doors down. So, uh, and they had Snowball. They had a little white dog,
Yeah.
Snowball, that of course I was afraid of, but it
Of
was a
course.
little thing.
Yeah.
And So yep, it was and then Mr. Brigg had he drove a like a snack trails a Lance.
Yeah,
Remember the
yeah,
Lance
yeah, yeah.
crackers?
They used to park it out on the street.
Yep. And then after he retired, it was just parked in their backyard for years and
Really?
years and years. Yeah.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
his truck.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so yeah, so that thing was back there for a long time and it was I'm sure I think pretty sure he let us like get inside of it a few times
Yeah,
and
play
like
around,
yeah, it was
whatever.
awesome,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway, yeah, a lot of good memories with the Briggs. They were always real nice to us, and you know, I thought those guys were super cool. And then, of course, the big story, like when my brother became deathly afraid of storms for a while. We're walking home from school
Yeah.
one day, and the wind picks up like crazy, and it blew a storm in, and the wind blew so hard, and my brother freaked out and threw his gym bag and went into the street and grabbed on. We were walking past the funeral home, grabbed onto the post of the sign of the funeral home, and was like started like crying and
Size out. Yeah.
yeah, he was yeah. So and it was scary. It was like a big
Yeah.
storm. Soon as that wind hit, it started pouring
Oh yeah.
and storming. And so we're so the story is so then we get down, you know, another maybe 100 feet to where we have to cross the street, and John Brigg pulls around is comes to the light where we're trying to cross, and he like gets our attention as he's passing us, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Come on," you know. So
Yeah.
he pulls over, and we go get in his car, and
Oh,
he
that's
takes us the rest of the way home. So the story was he was out just I think shooting by himself in our backyard, and it starts like getting super windy and starts pouring, and my mom comes out like, "Oh my gosh, the boys are walking home," and John's like, "I'll get them," and he,
and he jumped in the
yeah,
car. Oh,
he,
that's awesome,
yeah.
dude. That's so cool.
So that
And we're back.
back. My only other story, um, for somebody that I think I'm so close, but I think is not going to make my list is Mrs. Stamey. I gotta
I
talk about
know.
Mrs. Stamey.
Ugh.
It's I mean
That
there.
pine tree.
Oh,
How many balls are in that pine tree?
it's been gone for a long time, but I'm sure when they took that down, they had 50 in there.
You
And
couldn't
and
go
and add
near that thing.
add that to the 300 she probably had in her house
Yeah.
because she would take them and just keep them.
Really?
Yes.
I remember going in there in a second. We would like tiptoe close to see if she was looking out the window or not. And
She was always on that porch.
dude, the second you stepped on that grass, you got screamed at.
Yes.
Mrs. Stamey's the meanest neighbor of any neighbor I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, she was bad right across the street from us. And then like so we even playing in the backyard sometimes a ball would roll down the
Yeah.
hill and
And it just go right into the
it's
pine tree
going up. Well, it's
or
going
into her
up.
driveway.
That was even scarier. Yeah, up her driveway and all the way to the back. It like
Nope, that
to
ball's
her,
gone.
it's
Hey,
gone.
that's the Babe Ruth ball in Sandlot.
Yes.
Adios, bro.
So,
I hope that wasn't your good ball.
man, I remember some. I mean, just being terrified. And then there was one.
Kids, right?
She had older. Yeah,
No, but she had kids.
yeah, she had one. I think she
Did they
had one
not?
son.
Did the kids not play when they lived there?
I don't know. They were already.
Didn't the son buy the house or take or live in that house
Uh, I
afterwards?
don't. I don't remember. I don't think so. Maybe he did for a little bit. But yeah, I don't remember like when they well, I'm sure when they moved out we probably had a week-long party. But
Scariest woman in my life.
she was scary and she was probably one of the first people I heard curse and she would cuss at us, and that would be extra scary.
Just
You know what I
scary.
mean? Because we're little kids. But
Your mom went over one day and
yes.
lit her
I
up.
was just I was just thinking about that. We had a there was like a there were these little pink rubber balls,
Yeah.
and it was that. And we had one. I want to say we had one with like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stamp on it or
Okay.
something like
Yeah,
that.
sure.
And I think it was that one. I don't know how I remember that. And I think it was one of those things we might have even been in the backyard, and it rolled down our hill across the street and either went all the way up her driveway or into her yard, and she yelled at us. Oh, no, that's what it was. It was Joe. It was my brother. I think he had lost it over there, and I don't know if he I think he must have gone over and tried to get
Oh,
it or something,
good
and
for him.
yelled at him, and I think made him pee his pants. I think that's what happened.
I wouldn't doubt it. I probably peed my pants when she yelled at me before.
Yeah. And so I'm sure he went up, and because I remember, we both had times where she yelled at us and we went crying because we were so scared and running into the house. And that was a time that I have the picture in my mind of my mom standing on the sidewalk on our side of the street with the ball in her hand, bouncing the ball, telling her how awful she is to yell at kids and whatever. I don't remember the exchange, but I remember her like confronting her like, you don't have to talk to our kids that way. And
Your mom, hey, I'm gonna tell you something about Aunt Kathy. Your mom now, she could be a little scary too.
sure.
Your mom get a little something in her crawl. She gonna let
I
everybody
mean,
know.
if you scare kids enough to pee in their pants,
Yeah, she gonna be.
number
Hey,
one, she's got to deal with the pee pants.
Mama Bear's coming out.
Mama Bear's coming out, right? So anyway, yeah, that's a specific story I remember. That was one of the things though, like I remember like the Briggs and Scott Seymour and some of their friends like playing stuff and tossing frisbee and stuff in the
Hmm.
street sometimes, and then their stuff would go in her yard. She'd be out there. She'd yell at them, and they were in high school back then,
Yeah.
and so they would like be like, "Oh, whatever, shut up" or something, you know. And
Good
yeah,
for them.
I think I remember like Scott yelling at her because we were outside playing around with them in the street, and something went in there, and she was yelling at us, and Scott was like out there. He was like, he said something like, "Don't yell at little kids" or something like he tried
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
stand up for us a little bit, but. And then that was another thing that just made those guys. I was like, "Oh my gosh, how are you guys not scared to death of this
Oh my
lady?"
God, she's gonna kill us all
Yeah,
with her words.
yeah.
God, she was scary.
And it was weird because her husband was nice and her son was nice. I don't know what happened to her.
Yeah. I always so I remember you telling me that her son was a nice guy, like that, like he was a normal guy.
We didn't talk to him much, but yeah, when
Yeah.
they did, yeah, they were fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to be nice. It's the reason you hardly ever saw them. They
Yeah,
stayed
yeah.
the heck away from that old crazy woman.
Yeah, they must have.
I mean, picture gray hair. I don't know if she had glasses or not, but I just picture gray hair, glasses, and a moo on the front porch yelling at us in the middle of the day for a ball going into the pine tree.
Yeah.
That was a giant pine tree in her front yard. And if that ball would go in there, we were all scared.
Like the ball was gonna hurt the pine.
I don't
It was a 25-foot pine tree. It was enormous. It took the whole front yard.
My Nerf Turbo is not going to hurt that.
No.
And I got to take that to school because it's the only one we got left. The rest of them done shed all the red and black off, and we're just throwing with foam now.
A piece of oval foam.
Oh man, when somebody would not have their fingernails cut and they try to do a one-handed catch and they put a cut in it, you're like, oh man, you gotta end up with a hole in the. Everybody had a hole in the turbo.
Yeah.
Everybody had at least one hole in their turbo.
Yeah.
God, the turbo. Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So that's all the stories I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So go ahead on
no,
with your.
no. I haven't even picked one yet. So my neighbor, my very first house, I think he's gonna go on there. Larry, uh, very first house me and Aaron ever bought, and he was first one out there. He took care, made sure whatever was going on. He's the neighborhood watch kind of guy, right? You know what I mean? He knew everybody, had been there forever, knew everybody on the street. Always want to tell you what's going on. I'd help him shovel and stuff and then he had a snow blower, so he'd take care of our sidewalk and all that. And
Nice.
but just a great guy. I got to put Larry on there. I talk to him almost every day. We had another guy at the old house, a guy named Greg, lived on Greg Rolfs, Roffles.
Not Rolfus.
It's not Greg. No, it's not Rolfus. No, no, no,
Okay.
no. This dude, this guy worked in Columbus in the coroner's office.
Wow.
He, this dude was crazy, but he was off on Fridays, and so was I. So we would go to Delhi every morning on Friday morning. We would go to Delhi Chili. We'd get the hogway, which was like spaghetti. It was spaghetti, sausage on top, bacon on top, get on top, chili, onions, cheese.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
And dude, the thing was so good. But we get a hogway and then we go pick up some beer. We sit in his driveway and just have some beers for the day, right? We just
Wow.
hang out. But Greg was awesome. He had like he ended up leaving the corner for a little bit and he worked for one of those places that so he if you died and you were an organ donor, he would like shave your skin off and like so if people need like skin grafts and stuff and they like that was his job. Like he
Really?
just but that's what he always did when he was with the coroner and all that. He used to do stuff like that all the time. So this dude was crazy. Like, not, I mean, he wasn't crazy, but he was different. He was different.
Man,
Yeah. Good old Greg. But I'm
Greg.
not going to put him on there, even though he was like one of my really good friends there for like 2, 3 years. Like, I hung out with him every week, talked to him all the
Oh,
time. He's a great dude.
share a hallway with somebody that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't share it. We each ate our own.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Probably could have. Probably should have shared it. That's probably when I started really gaining weight. Was right now that I think about it, that's right about the time when I
I mean,
really started putting LBs on for real, for real.
that's gonna put LBs on that hallway.
There's no doubt. But I'm gonna go, Larry. So mom and dad always had some good neighbors. You know, we had a lot of good neighbors growing up. I've got to stick with the two that I have right now on the right and left of me.
Oh,
My two current neighbors, I couldn't ask for two better sets of people. Uh, I'm going to go with Danny Cox, but we're going to call it the Cox family.
okay.
Danny bought the house from his mom and dad. Mom and dad were amazing. They're the greatest people in the world. My dog, she was in a terrible car accident. She could hardly walk. Like they completely still has trouble walking and still has all kinds of issues from this accident that they had. Um, but like she couldn't walk and we had Remy's big dog, right?
Hmm.
And Remy would just always get out. And they had their back screen door. He just went in their house one day.
Oh,
But they're totally cool. They didn't care. Like they're totally cool about the whole thing. I know she was scared out of her mind. But I'm gonna go with the whole Cox family. They are awesome people. Um, they've lived there forever. Danny used to cut my grass when I first moved in here. Now he's my next door neighbor and has 2 kids.
how about that?
Yeah. So that's cool. And then neighbors on the other side are the Johnsons, Bob and Mary. They've got 3 kids. One of them is a year older than Parker, and one of them's a year older than the girls. Uh, 3 girls, they're giants. Their mom's 6 foot, their dad's 6 foot. These girls are going to be monsters.
Wow.
Um, but
They
yeah,
hoop.
yeah. Well, the one of them did. She's in high school now. She's a the flag guard people. What do they
Okay.
call that? Color guard. Is that right?
Sure.
Not color. Is that what it is?
Flag corps. Flag corps.
The
Flag corps.
people, yeah, they flip the
Color
gun, the
guard.
fake
Color
wooden
guard.
guns and all that stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
in Elder's band, she does that. But the other one still hoops, and I think she still plays volleyball. The one a little bit older than Parker, and then the youngest does all the softballs and all that stuff. But awesome people next door, great people. Um, I got 2 great neighbors right now.
That's awesome.
So that's 3. I got a ways to go before I figure out which one is my fourth. So why don't you hook me up with your? Did you put Mrs. Stamey on it?
I'm not doing Mrs. Stamey.
I'm
Uh,
glad because you were talking about it last week when we talked about this.
you do not like that idea.
Mrs. Stamey is the last person that should ever be on the Mount Rushmore of neighbors. Mount Rushmore of
Yeah.
neighbors is like that's my neighbor, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
She's the worst
It
neighbor.
yeah, it depends on how you look at it. Yeah. I mean, most memorable maybe,
Mm.
but yeah,
There ain't no
but
doubt about
but
that.
not a nice lady.
No doubt about that.
Gosh rest her soul. I assume.
She is not with him. I'll tell you that right now.
Satan rest her soul.
She is haunting that house. She's still here, bro. She is haunting that house. I guarantee that. Haunting that house.
Maybe. Okay. Went with the Briggs. I'm gonna go with the Seamers. Okay,
Absolutely.
Scott Seamer was they were close with us.
Hmm.
They got close with us. Scott was over all the time. He ended up he was the assistant coach the first year I played basketball
Nice.
because my dad was the coach and Scott helped him out. Um, I think it was the first year. Maybe because John helped my dad one of the first 2 years too.
Yeah.
So anyway, um, yeah, Scott Seamer was super cool to us. He was always good. Um, the mom
That
and
was great to everybody in the family. I mean, he
yeah,
like did drywall for Uncle Bob. He
yeah,
did all kinds of stuff.
yeah, yep. He could pop a ceiling like no other.
Yeah.
Um,
He got on stilts. I walked in Uncle Bob's house one day and he's on stilts. Dude's 6'6" and he's on
yeah.
stilts. I'm like, what do you need stilts for? You're the largest, you're the tallest human being I know.
He put those stilts on the smallest level they could go
Yeah.
because he didn't need much more
Yep,
than
that's exactly right.
that. Yeah, he did. He's done drywall for many decades, and yeah, I remember we sold him. My dad sold him one of his like work vans or whatever, and then Scott drove that for a while. I remember when he turned 21 maybe or something. I think my mom put a sign on the back of his window to honk or something like that, and then
Yeah.
he came back from work that day and was like, "Oh, that's what happened." Um, so anyway, yes, yeah, the Seamers were all he had older siblings that we knew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, and the mom and dad were,
They
they
were
had
old. I felt like they were old
they
when
were
we lived there. Yeah.
they were already old. Yes, Len had some kind of skin cancer on his face, and but he was big about taking care of his yard and he had his
Yeah.
flowers
Yeah.
and they were nice people to us. We'd go in their house sometimes and they'd give us candy or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
It's crazy how it works, ain't it?
yeah,
Ain't no way
yeah.
that's going down anymore.
No.
If there was some dude up the street that was like 20 years old and his mom and dad had,
Yeah,
and he lived with his mom and dad, and I was like, I'm gonna go up there and talk to them and go in their house and have a, the hell you are.
yeah. But Marge was a sweet old lady. They were I mean, they were yeah, they were nice. But after Len passed, mom and dad would go over there and help them out with help, Marge out with stuff because it was after a while it was just Marge and Scott living over there. And then and mom would like because Marge didn't drive, so mom would take her to the store every week or for
Yeah.
for a while and take her to lunch sometimes and stuff like that. So anyway, we and then they gave us we used to recycle cans. We had a can crusher in the garage.
They gave you the can crusher?
No, they gave us their cans all the time. They
Man.
drank beer nonstop. and and
That's where Scott got it from.
yes. And the worst was Marge smoked too. So they would have like a little tiny bit of beer at the bottom of the can, and then they put their cigarette
Cigarette
butts in
butts
it.
in there.
That smell, the cigarette butts in the beer that's been in there for a while was the most disgusting thing. But
You had to crush it. Then you crush every once in a while. You crush that one and still got something in it.
yep, yep, it was nasty. But anyway, we made, we would crush, 18 bags of cans and get $3. So that was nice of them.
I remember crushing cans at
Yeah.
the weird ass door that was that that was next that was two steps down from your kitchen that led down to your basement.
Yeah.
And the door, it was right next to that door, wasn't it?
We had one down there, and then we also had one in the garage when my dad built the garage for a
Oh,
while.
okay, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
we had both. Yep. Um,
Your basement, by the way, I can still see your basement at
yeah,
Taft.
yeah.
I can still see
It
it
was
down
not a good basement. But so anyway, the Seamers were great. I'm throwing them on there, the Briggs and the Seamers, and then I'm going. So the Kit Kat lady.
there.
Okay.
Ooh.
The Kit Kat lady, they were right next door to us in the house the Valatudos lived in before the Valatudos.
Oh, you mean Valtudos aren't going to make it?
Valatudos are not going to make it. I'm sorry. Um, uh, I could do all kinds of stories about them too. But anyway, the Kit Kat
They
lady,
still big ups. She worked at Johnny's Toys. I don't know how she got them all, but I
she
don't know how she
does.
got all that stuff
Yeah.
she got.
It
But
was no, it was Kenner. She worked at
oh, was it
Kenner.
Kenner? I don't know
Yeah.
how she got all the stuff she got, but I got a Ultimate Warrior.
Oh.
What was that pillow thing that you're supposed to wrestle with or
Oh
whatever?
yeah,
Remember that thing?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's why she was
Um,
just like, "Come on, you want one?" She had like 50 of them in there in her garage. I'm like,
you know how many starting lineups we got from her?
really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got some starting lineups from her. So anyway.
Shady, shady.
Yeah.
The dad was creepy. That was creepy. I just remember. I don't feel like he ever wore a shirt.
he had he would wear the tank top
Yeah,
because he would he would lift weights in the backyard
yeah, I
sometimes.
remember that. Yeah,
And so he had some muscle. But yeah, but he was like a tank top and then boots and wool socks in the winter guy, right?
with probably with cargo shorts or something.
Yeah. Um, so anyway, in their house before when we were real little was the Kit Kat lady. This was an elderly French couple. I'm not even sure they I think they barely spoke English.
Wow,
But they were really nice. And we ended up they had I think grandkids that lived in France. Their family lived in France, and they had grandkids that would every summer come stay at their house for a couple weeks. And so we got to know them, and we ended up writing letters back and forth, and then they
really?
would come in the summer and hang out
Oh,
and stuff
that's
like that.
cool.
Yeah,
I don't remember
they
that.
were older than us, but they were
Yeah,
like high school age at that time. But anyway, so a nice old couple, and we would take their garbage cans back for them on garbage day, like after
sure.
they came
Yeah,
back. And she would come out and give us. She always had Kit Kats, or probably other candy too, but
but you,
whatever.
Kit
They
Kats were the
they
thing.
kept
Yeah,
giving us Kit Kats, so we called her the Kit Kat lady.
that's awesome.
So anyway, yes, that was they were cool neighbors.
That's awesome.
Um, and then last, certainly not least, on the other side next door was Elsie Clark.
Oh, the old lady in the
Yeah,
Pooh family.
that's right. She was on the bottom floor, and she was a really, really nice old lady too. It was, like my dad would
Can
go
I
over
tell
and
you,
cut her grass
I
or
thought
help
the
stuff out.
Briggs lived in that house above her. I thought she lived on the bottom and the Briggs lived above her.
Briggs were next door to her.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Man,
Yep. Yep. So Elsie Clark was really nice. So I remember one specific time where it was the summer and Joe and I were outside playing and of course fighting for the 8,000th consecutive day.
hmm
And because that's just what we did. We were just around
just
each
know
other all
you
day,
could
every
tell
day.
you could tell you always knew it was about to happen, and then they just start running around. It was like a circle around the house. They just
Yeah.
sprint around the house in a circle, and you just
Yeah.
be sitting there waiting for it to stop, or for Aunt Kathy to yell at you guys,
Yeah.
so we could go back to playing basketball.
Right.
I just sit
100%.
there and wait.
100%. Somebody got mad at somebody for something
hmm
and somebody did like the
Then the
big
ball,
thing,
yeah,
threw
then
the
the
ball
ball
at him.
got thrown, and
Right.
then it was
Right.
done.
And that yeah. So then but anyway, we were even younger than that. We were back there in the back. We had that weeping willow tree kind of
Yeah,
all the way in the
yeah,
back, and it was
yeah.
kind of like on both of our property. So we're back there fighting about something one day, swinging on the weeping willow branches, and she comes out. I guess she must have heard us, and she comes out and she's trying to get us to um do something else with our time, I guess, or something. So she gives us a copy of Huckleberry, I think it was Huckleberry Finn and Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Woo!
These like two legendary literary masterpieces. And she gave those to us. And I'm sure we never, but they were like, I mean, those books would probably be worth tons of money today.
Yeah, probably.
Because they were old
Probably
books.
first edition.
Yeah, but they were like hardback and they were in good shape and stuff. So anyway, she gave us those books and she would give us other stuff too. And my dad would go over and like help her with stuff or cut her grass or whatever. And she would
Yeah,
try to pay him. He'd be like, no, and she'd be like, yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, but she was a very nice lady. So Elsie Clark, shout
Elsie
out
Clark,
Elsie.
good for you.
Yeah,
I'm having trouble figuring out my fourth. I've had so many good neighbors, man.
yeah.
So many good people. And when I think of neighbors, I like think right next door usually, or like a couple. But
Eh,
that's not. but like the not. I mean, obviously not because the Linemans and all them.
Yeah, you could have
Uh,
a neighbor around the corner, I feel like.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
Erin was my neighbor. I guess if that's the case, she used to play on my street.
Oh,
Uh,
well then hold on.
no, I didn't know who she was back then. She wasn't a cool neighbor back then. No, heck
Okay.
no. Uh, here's oh man, best neighbor. I got to put a fourth on here. I guess I'm gonna go with Greg. I'm gonna go with Greg. Is it Rolf? I think it might have been Greg Rolfus.
Wow.
I think they might have had the same name.
How
I'll
about
have to
that?
look that one up. It's a tough one. But yeah, yeah.
Are any of the so are Larry or Greg are you like
Larry still lives there. I talk to
okay,
his grandson every now and then.
nice.
Um, he he owns Greg's old house.
Oh,
So Greg got into some financial issues, and Larry bought the house because he loved Greg as a neighbor. So he rented it to Greg, and then
oh,
Greg moved back to Columbus. That's how good of a neighbor Greg was.
wow.
Greg did everything for everybody on the street. Dude, if you needed something, he's gonna do it for you.
Larry's like, we gotta keep this guy around.
And Larry's like, I got Larry at one point in time probably had the best two neighbors at work. Me and Greg were the best. We'd do anything, anytime for anybody.
Yep.
Um, it. I'm spelling his name wrong probably. Anyway, yeah. So it was. Um, I'm gonna go with Greg. I'm gonna go with Greg. It's not Rolfus. It's my just wants to go to that because that's the guy who we all know now, the
Yeah.
Oak Hills coach, and his kid
Greg
plays
Ellington.
in Jaeger's organizations, and I want to say Rolfus, but I think it's I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll look it up and figure
When's
it
the
out.
last time you talked to him?
Been a while. Been a while. Probably 7, 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He moved to Columbus. I moved over here, and I got a hold of him one time up when I stayed in Columbus and had a pizza and a couple cocktails and
Nice.
hung out. But yeah,
Well, you're still up there all the time, aren't you?
yeah, yeah.
You just don't.
I got it's, things happen, man.
Yeah.
Change, times, move. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate the old boy or anything. Just
Yeah.
haven't seen him in a while.
Man's on your Mount Rushmore of neighbors.
Yeah, I mean he was great. We had a great 5 year run. It was
Yeah.
a good 5 year run. I can tell you what his name is because he's in my phone. That's how you find it.
Oh, there you
Um, I feel bad that we talk about how great he is,
go. It's
and
gonna be nothing close to Rolls. It's gonna be like
Rolfson.
okay, Rolfson.
Rolfson,
Okay.
Rolfson. So it's close.
Very
It's
close.
definitely close.
Oh
But that Rolfus had me going. Rolfson. Anyway, there you go. All right. Well done.
Good
Mount
work.
Rushmore of neighbors.
Yeah.
It's a
I think
big week, bud. It's a
yeah.
big week. It's a big week.
Oh, you know what? It works out great that
I
we're gonna
know.
wait until so we'll
It
switch
gets
back.
us back.
There you
So
go.
I didn't do the Kevin Hart. Yeah.
In
But with
fact, you
that,
were going to, but you did us a favor.
I wanted to get it back to
Purpose.
where we each had something to pick every week, which means that I get to not only did I not watch Kevin Hart, but I also get to pick the Mount Rushmore for next week.
Okay.
Done a lot of things with the shootout. I think we've done everything. We've done UC players, we've done Xavier players, we've probably done crosstown shootouts.
Yeah,
And we probably didn't, to be honest with you, because
I
my
think so.
brain doesn't remember individual. I mean, I can tell you the games, but I don't remember them. Like I know there had to be some really good ones that weren't UC number. I mean, they were all Xavier winning, right?
Sure.
But I don't know. You know what? Let's do that. Let's do the Mount Rushmore of all time crosstown shootouts. I might have to do some research. I bet there's a good one back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, UC being one in the country twice is both of those have to go. The Kevin Fry year, the the Kevin Fry coast to coast, nobody touches him, should have been fouled. They just let him go. The Lenny Brown from the free throw line.
I
Um,
remember watching that one at your house on that had to be on
VHS or something.
no during the game no like live
I
I'm
was
pretty
at
sure.
that game.
Oh, you were at that
I
game?
have my ticket from that game. I was there with Tony. Aunt Peggy worked for Dr. Colosimo, and we got two tickets. And me and Tony were sitting up in the rafters at Fifth Third, formerly the Shoe, and we were in the rafters, and I was getting, dude, these old people were getting on me, like yelling at me up there because I was decked out in X stuff, and it was just me and Tony. We had two seats. It was just me and Tony up there.
You guys had a Mrs. Stamey up there, huh?
Yeah, but no, it might have been the Kevin Fry year. They're number one. That was a little bit later. That was a few
There's
years later.
maybe there's another shot. Who am I
The Lenny
thinking?
Brown shot's the greatest. That's the
Wasn't there a similar shot from somebody else? Maybe. Um,
very possibly. I
yeah,
guarantee it. There's been a ton of games that have been down. Almost every game back in the day was down to the wire.
yeah, yeah. But you know what? There are going to be. You can Google this, and there will be lists
Oh yeah,
of the top games. So yeah,
guarantee it.
yeah.
Man, does the brawl?
Right? Does that make it?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It was one of my favorite games up until the fight happened. I mean, we belt to ass that game, bub. I remember looking at my dad during that game and saying, "It's time to put the walk-ons in. Like, why these guys need to come out? We're up by 30 or something like that. It's time to come out." And yeah, uh, we come to find out that was when first found out Chris Mack not the biggest fan of Mick Cronin.
Yeah,
Was during that game because he did not want to take anybody out. He wanted to stick it to them.
yeah.
Wanted to. Wanted to. Then the stories all came out about how Mac played basketball with Cronin's brother, and Cronin was just that little dweeb in the back seat. I love all that.
Yeah.
I wish we had Mac Cronin back just for that, just because we whooped him up so bad. Anyway, yeah, let's do that.
You got the Pete Gillen, Bob Huggins
Oh,
not shaking hands.
the no handshake. Yeah.
You got the JP
Hold on,
McCarron.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Oh, sorry. We got to do this
That
real
was the
quick.
Bob Huggins not shaking hands.
Oh,
That was
right,
not
right,
the
right.
Bob Huggins.
Right, right, right.
Pete Gillen had hand that reached out. Bob Huggins walked by.
Yeah. Then
Sore
Pete was
loser.
not happy about that.
Would you? I would be. If you are a Division I basketball coach, you beat a really good basketball team on the court, and the guy won't shake your hand after the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Pete's a fiery Irishman.
Yeah. 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 Anyway, there'll be plenty of good reminiscing about that for
Yeah,
sure.
that'll be
And
good.
then we'll know what happened in this year's game.
Yeah,
Maybe this year's game will be on it.
I hope so.
That'd be
I
cool.
doubt it. These two teams aren't the best teams, but you never know. It's not the teams, really. It's the
Yeah.
games. I'll never forget at the game when Najee Marshall um, scored 31. And that was a year where they were doing this thing where every game that Xavier played, they had an artist that did a artist picture for the game. And they would sell, they had like 100 of them that they would sell at the game. And my dad bought probably three of them throughout the year, but he got there early and we got one of the Crosstown Shootout ones.
Hmm.
After the game, me and Dad decided we were going to go chill and hang out and wait down by where we know where the players come out afterwards. And Najee Marshall comes out with his Oakland A's hat and his big thing, and my dad goes 31 for 13, and he comes over and he gave us both five, and he signed my dad's poster 31 for 13.
Oh, that's
Najee Marshall.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the coolest thing in the world.
That's cool.
Yeah.
He's
Really.
balling out
Dude,
in Dallas too.
he's
right now.
playing. He was balling when he was in New Orleans.
Mhm.
We knew he was special when he was here. When he left after his junior year, I was hoping he would give it another one because freshman year he was good, sophomore year was really good, junior year was legit. Like
Yeah.
you knew that guy was something different. One more year would have been fun, but then we moved on, all good. Blewett Macura, there's a Blewett Macura year where Blewett had like 40 in the Crosstown
Oh,
Shootout.
yeah, yeah,
That was a big one. He could not miss.
yeah.
And that was when UC and Xavier were both, top 10 teams in the country.
Yeah.
And Blewett could not miss a shot. Old baby fat Blewett.
Yeah.
JP McCura, Mick Cronin ripping JP McCura a new asshole in the line. Looked like he was gonna beat up JP McCura.
Yeah.
And then went in the thing after, like he was in McCura's face. McCura's looking down at him, laughing in the handshake line, giggling. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Mick's red face screaming at him. And and Mick goes in the thing. I'll never forget this. Chris Mack is on he always sat on the court and he would do the post game with Byron and Joe,
Mhm.
but you could hear it in the whole Cintas Center. It would be in the Cintas Center. And he was sitting there waiting. He had his daughter on his lap, one of his daughters, and he's sitting there waiting. And they had the press conference up top, and it's during commercial, and he's looking, and he looks at Joe and Byron, and he puts her down, takes his headset off, and starts walking back. Mick says something on the post game about, "I would never let a guy like him ever wear a UC jersey." Blah 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 blah. I can't believe anybody would. And Mac goes right back in there. He goes, "I heard exactly what he said." I said, "Yeah, ask Mick. Ask Mick how hard he recruited J.P. McCura. He knew the type of player he was when he was in Michigan because he ain't changed. It's the same, or not Michigan, wherever J.P. came out of.
Yeah.
He was the same player then, and he was recruiting him like crazy. He didn't get him. Now he wishes he had him because everybody knows J.P.'s the guy you want on your team, but you can't stand if he's on the other team." And I was like, "Get him, get him, get him." Mick, I can't stand that guy.
Yeah.
Have I ever said that I can't stand Mick Cronin?
I was never a fan of Mick Cronin either, but I'll almost guarantee you that JP McCura started whatever happened between them.
Yeah, 1,000%. But be the bigger man. You're the head coach of the other team. He's a 20-year-old kid. You're a 50-year-old man. Like you are in at the highest level of college basketball. You can't let that kid get to you. You cannot let that happen.
Yeah.
You can't let that happen. Unless you're a fiery little Irishman like Mick Cronin and you just can't handle yourself.
Yeah,
He looks so bad. Mick
he was
looks
not.
so bad that
Uh,
day. He looks so bad.
yeah.
JP just laughing at him. I hope JP said something to him too.
I
I mean, he definitely
guarantee
said something to him
it.
because
Yeah.
Mick didn't just go off.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we basically just did the Mount Rushmore, but we'll figure out what the four are for
You
sure.
might have a UC game mixed in there, a UC win.
Yeah, I got to look back and see what the best ones were.
There's a Danny Fortson game where Danny had like 30 against us and they beat us by 25. I mean, they just manhandled us, and Fortson had a game.
Yeah. I got to go back and see the Kenyon Martin years.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some good games in those years. Yeah. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check out those Kenny Martin years. All right. That sounds good.
Xavier beat them all.
I think there was at least one. No, it wasn't all 4 years, but there was one when he was a junior or senior. I think that they crept out when they were like number 3 or 4 in the country. That's always my favorite. That's what I loved about it. That's what I grew. That's what made me so happy.
Yeah.
And then everybody would say how many times they beat us in the total, and then I'd be like, well, who cares about 50 years ago? I care about right now.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was last year. It was all about how much. Oh, we beat you. Like, man, it's one out of the last 6 years, bro. We beat you 5 straight. Take a deep breath. You beat us 2 straight, and we'll start talking.
You can always figure out how to make it good for
Always
your-
comes
for
my
your
way,
team.
bro. Always comes my way. It's like anything. I can make an argument for anything. I can make an argument for anything. All right, we got to get out of here. We got the Mount Rushmore of Crosstown Shootouts. We got Kevin Hart's new special on Netflix coming up next week. Until then, don't forget to turn your headlights on.